4-color funny book aficionados. This is US Comics Cast, HQ for all things comic book connected. We are John and Charlie Rivera, co-founders of US Comics. Charlie,
Yeah?
boy, we are bright and shiny like the day we were born in the camera today. I don't know. Oh, the lights are low. The lights are low. That's why. But happy, soggy comic book day.
I had to swim here, which is not fun. It's like a 30-minute drive. It's like a 45-minute swim.
But you're basically
I'm a very
like
good swimmer.
the seal that got away from Bruce the Shark.
That's true.
Which angered him completely, and he just went on a complete beach smorgasbord. So it's entirely your fault.
Which is what I do at the beach as like a single guy. I'm like, hey, you ladies are just trying to mind your business, but I'm going to be weird and intimidating. No.
Just knocking back a fudgy-wudgy bar.
Oh my God. Got one? Wait a second.
I don't.
That's evergreen. That's all year long. New raffle for the Long Island Ghostbusters started today. Off to an auspicious start.
Talk about a smorgasbord.
Dude, I literally couldn't stop throwing stuff in the pile.
The Long Island Ghostbusters are throwing. If anybody who's unfamiliar, the Long Island Ghostbusters are throwing
fundraiser,
a raffle fundraiser. Just a good time with great oldies. There is so much. It's like Thanksgiving for Ghostbuster stuff.
Ironically, I was trying to part of the theme is a Thanksgiving of Ghostbuster stuff to hopefully give someone a Thanksgiving because we partnered up with a food shelter that we live next to now.
Right.
Every time I go get pizza, there's this awesome food shelter just filling people's cars with necessities.
Right.
So I inquired about information. They're a 501(c)(3). They take support. I was like, this is as good of an excuse as any to get someone. This is the list. Ready?
They're thinking
Proton
about
pack.
Thanksgiving though in April.
I just more meant a giant feast. But you're gonna get the winner. One winner is gonna get this $5 to enter. Proton pack,
which is
red parka,
a good one.
A good one. HasLab Proton Pack and wand.
HasLab Proton Pack.
The red parka that's in 8 minutes of the new movie.
Hey man,
customized with your name on it.
More than I'm in it.
More than you're in it, and you tried. They're gonna get the new thong bumper, the yellow thong bumper that goes on the outside.
Please preface that for anybody who has not seen.
You're gonna get a yellow thong if you give me $5. No. That's how that works. No. But they're a full conversion kit to make it a Frozen Empire style Proton Pack, all finished pieces, 3D printed, but painted, sanded, ready to go. They're gonna get the new Boa Fang radio, which is a real radio. You want to be a trucker? I can hook you up.
A
handheld radio, but it's a ham radio. Technically, you can get a license and start being Roger, Roger, or whatever the hell truck drivers say.
Nobody's gonna do that.
Nobody's probably gonna do that.
They're just gonna cosplay.
But a whole pile of amazing stuff. $5, you can check out LI Ghostbusters. So that wound up being, I wound up working a double today because half my day was spent doing my day job and the other half was frantically answering email. Because some people, they'll message us on Instagram and then 30 people. So I'm talking to one, about to talk to the next, and they'll send 15 messages. They get very excited for me to just be here's the link, stop yelling. Because you know what it is?
It's a lot of stuff.
And here's the thing, we do it international, but I don't pay international shipping. So if you're in England and you want to play, totally, here's how much it's probably going to cost if you win. That's the only time there's a cost because we cover shipping, we cover handling, we cover
that's
literally all of it. But so yeah, my day wound up crazy busy.
Very cool, man. Very cool.
You hung out with my puppy kid all day.
I did, and tried to keep him from constantly wanting to play in the rain. So
I got here and he laid down in the rain.
You're welcome for the pneumonia that he did not get today.
Well, I appreciate that.
You are very welcome. But in any case, there's a lot to talk about.
I jinxed myself because I said, there's not a lot of comic book news.
Yeah, you got a big mouth.
And then I think in the last 20 hours, all we had was comic book news. Yeah, Valiant Comics had a huge announcement. For those of you unfamiliar, Valiant was that comic book company that periodically, it's the 4th place comic company.
Yeah.
It's the 4th big one. So if it's DC and Marvel are constantly vying to disappoint me in 1st and 2nd place.
In in the girls group, singing wise, Valiant is Judy.
Exactly.
Judy with the tiny hand.
Yes. But Valiant.
A deep cut.
I mean, it's a one. The fact that you did, those that don't watch the video version, they missed out on some real good.
Check out Judy right away.
Some real good schmack thing, SNL's own. But no, Valiant consistently is like in the top of the top indie scene. Constantly is in a position to like outshine an IDW, outshine a Dark Horse. The problem is IDW and Dark Horse over the last 20 years have been consistent in their kind of bites at the big league. Like everyone's kind of fighting for third, and Image has really had a stake in third place for a very long time.
I wouldn't consider Image an indie anymore.
Exactly. They're one of the big three.
They're one of the big three, and then there's everybody else. But yeah, Valiant has been, and it's always been the case. I got a solid decade head start on
the OG Valiant universe.
It's always been the case that they were wildly inconsistent in terms of their releases and in terms of their runs and in terms of their properties and really all of it.
Well, that's the big story of Valiant. Somehow, this is now their third massive relaunch. The original Valiant.
Tell about the relaunch. So
that's true.
About the relaunch.
They're about to have a third major relaunch.
There it is.
Like I think 10 to 15 years ago, they came back and they were excited and they were launching heavy. And what's very interesting about Valiant, they had very
movies.
Well, they had a very USComics approach in as much as they were like, here's a whole universe. There's tons of shit going down. Sure. We're never going to focus on one because we always have this massive fleet of characters. And then what happened was
5 minutes later.
Yeah, what they decided to do is they were like, you know how we'll really get a foothold? You know how we'll really compete with Image? Cousin Paul bringing up Jim Shooter's Valiant. A lot of people remember Exo Manowar had a video game with Iron Man in their original run. Like, you don't get more big league than that.
I mean, to me, if there is an on the fence type of, or like more of a casual comic person trying to have the conversation, and they're not really, and this is very specific actually to the topic at hand. I would say, well, yeah, you remember Bloodshot comic books.
The iconography of Bloodshot, pasty skin, giant red circle on his chest. It's iconic in its own right.
And somehow they still messed it up.
Well, what's insane is, so they wind up getting a movie deal, and they when Marvel was kind of at the top of cinema, everyone was trying to be like, well, we want a taste. So what happened, what was super weird, was they get this deal and they're like, okay, we're going to launch. The original plan, to my recollection, was Archer and Armstrong was going to be the first comic, which is like, it's a little bit funny. It's a little guy who's like a great marksman. It's a big guy. Like, you could do everything practical. It could be a 90-minute banger of a flick. It would almost be like...
They didn't want that type of movie. They wanted like a...
Well, it's not. I don't think that's true. I think what happened was they then got, without necessarily looking for it, Vin Diesel became interested in Bloodshot.
Right.
And when you think of Bloodshot, you think of a John Barenthal type. You think of a Henry Cavill type. You think of someone like jacked but lean.
I wouldn't.
You would think of someone. You would think of Vin Diesel's bald ass.
No, if someone came to me and said, pitch me a Bloodshot movie, especially at that time, and that was pre John Wick. So I'm making a John Wick movie, except with a pasty,
But I'm talking about the actor. Vin Diesel.
Well, like Keanu is another like.
Keanu would have been a great Bloodshot.
Exactly.
And what happened was, seldomly. I did pop it. I had it up before. Death Made fucking rules. What happened was it shit the bed, and what happened was
the movie.
That particular movie seemed to make every bad decision. They introduced the ninjak in that abomination of a film. One of the very few films I fell asleep during. Like, it was nothing fucking happens in the first half.
It was just a bad, like, when you define bad action movie, you could check off all of those boxes. Plus the fact, and to me the most egregious, nothing about the visuals was like, oh,
It just
Oh, okay.
felt completely
It
wrong.
was just terrible.
Our boy Christian from the Jay and Silent Bob Secret
Hey,
Stash,
Christian, what's
live
up?
from the Secret Stash.
Great podcast today, by the way, brother. It was good to see the
He
big
popped
three.
in. Christian is the type of person.
Vin Diesel's Bloodshot to kick off the Valiant relaunch
What's interesting though
of Alien books.
if Christian were to go to work tomorrow,
Yes,
and
as I'm sure he will,
and he says, "Hey, loving staff of the Secret Stash, what about Valiant Comics?" He would have a billion options. Valiant Comics has some of the richest, has one of the richest histories that it seemed to be impossible.
We'll just walk out with like 50 comic books stacked
Just
high.
an entire long box.
Get to work.
But just so everyone knows,
Get reading.
just so everyone knows, they now are licensing out the characters.
Yeah.
So we're getting another quasi relaunch. What's going to happen though is they're basically doing a road 2. Right now in stores, you can get the last couple of issues to wrap up stories. Now I don't know if this is going to be a full reboot or not, but I know this is exciting if you like comics. If right now, if Marvel and DC are leaving something to be desired, we have one of the, in my opinion, one of the greatest rosters of characters of all time. I just want to talk about a couple. There's Exo Man of War.
Yeah.
Alien Iron Man, basically.
Big hitter.
Alien suit Iron Man.
I mean, also known as Blue Beetle.
Kind of Blue Beetle.
He's kind of
like if
organic Iron Man.
If you're a little like anti brown characters in super suits, and you're like, Blue Beetle lost me. Too much Latin shit. Congratulations.
Too many tortilla jokes. I'm out.
Exo Man of War could be for you. Ellis brings up Magnus Robot Fighter. When it comes to names of things, Magnus Robot Fighter, a book in the future where a dude fights robots.
If you're talking about a comic book or presidential attempted assassination, you need 3 names.
One of my personal favorites, also a banger of an album. one of the absolute best books in my opinion. If you like, I know very controversial right now, they're doing the Crow reboot. If you wanted to read like a gothic comic book with an awesome protagonist,
and I do,
Shadow Man is one of my favorite characters. Was also a wild video game back in the day. Valiant's always tried to kind of get out of the comic book landscape and infiltrate pop culture. Shadow Man, to me, as much as I love the OG Shadow Man, the new one followed his son. Better. I think it was like even more masterfully put together. It's that NOLA, spooky spiritual shit. The character design is fucking amazing. There's an album on Spotify inspired by the character that is fucking incredible. I read a Shadow Man book, I put on that album. It's fucking moody and cryptic and amazing. Ninjak. Do you like Storm, Shadow, and Snake Eyes?
People are going to there's gonna be, Valiant has the type of roster available to them that people don't know that they know, right? Like they're gonna know certain visuals are gonna be instantaneous to them, and what I really do hope, with the relaunch that I clearly think is exactly what's happening. Is that they do firmly embrace, like, look, this is one shared universe, and you know what? Fuck off with the character titles for a minute. Like, just talk about the world. Like, talk about what's happening in that situation and why all these characters are now existing in the same place and time. And then hit the ground running. It's
interesting that
that's the most common sense approach.
I love that you brought that up after I mentioned Ninjak, because G.I. Joe as a series and even as comic books works best as an ensemble piece.
Of course.
So it's like,
Larry Hama knew that.
Why rely? And I think this was a big issue for them with the last run. They were so fixated in individual stories that had like maybe cameos, but
at best.
Eternal Warrior. This is a Highlander type character. He doesn't die. He was a fucking he was back in like the old, he would have been rolling with Conan. And he's still around. And he's still
rolling with Conan should be the third installment. Sorry about King Conan.
That is basically it's
Arnold is back.
it's getting coffee,
with Conan.
getting coffee in cars with comedians. It's Conan.
Hey Conan, are we going to the gym today? Nah, fuck that. Too old for that shit.
No, I just want him and fucking like Mr. T just hanging out
Oh,
for
Mr.
rolling
T.
with Conan.
Let it go.
But Eternal Warrior is one of those things that it's so perfectly set up for, like, if you like brutality, if you like just, again, it's swords and sorcery without the restriction of a time frame. Like, you could tell Eternal Warrior shit from the 1700s and from 2012.
Which is a Conan thing. Conan, that's exactly like, when was the Hyborian Age again?
Oh, touche.
What were those years?
Touche.
Fuck if I know.
There's if that's not enough time travel goodness for you, they have Time Walker. I know you and I tend to not really love time travel story unless it's exclusively
it is
about time travel.
Right,
well, congratulations, Time Walker is a story about that shit. One of the biggest characters, and I do not mean that as a mean-spirited pun.
This kid.
One of the only like plus size super heroines, certainly Faith, was this like pop culture icon for like 45 minutes.
Yeah.
She was so loved for a minute. This is like a beautiful, she's blonde, she has like Supergirl-ish vibe, but she's chubby.
But she
likes to eat.
She is thick in all the right places.
She is thick in the best way. I mentioned them before, Archer and Armstrong.
Yeah.
I think they're a dynamic duo worthy of Jay and Silent Bob status, and they are nowhere fucking near it. Roku, named after the TV. That's fun. That's fun. There's the first Bloodshot is this character. I'm sorry, the future Bloodshot is this character Ra.
I know what you meant.
Which is so. How would you even describe it? It's like Neo. It's like your favorite fucking anime, but with like a ninja samurai robot man. Like it is.
Yeah.
It is Blade Runner meets Highlander meets whatever John's about to say.
It is the best usage of this like nanotech type of
fuck yes
excuse away. Like, we're gonna do anything we want to do, all because of nanobots. You're like, you know what? Fuck you, nanobots. Except not in this case. Like, you get it.
The other big one for me, and it's the last individual character I want to bring up because you brought up a good point. The fact is that these characters all exist. They're ready to go.
Right.
But fucking Turok is a Valiant character.
Right.
Everyone's played Turok. There's no one on Earth who hasn't at some point seen gameplay of fucking Turok. Dinosaurs, bitch! Dinosaurs in comics should always sell. If you wait till the end of the episode, I'm going to tell you why fucking dinosaurs belong. They're evergreen. For me, though, there's no moment more exciting than when someone steps up and tries to hit a grand slam. This Valiant comic, this relaunch, this relaunch, whether it's good, bad, or different, I don't think I'm going to be more excited than this moment where there's nothing but opportunity. Because we know there's incredibly talented artists out there. We know there's incredibly talented writers out there. We know that this roster is fucking deep. Now it's about how do you execute it. And
because it's dropping in all over the place. What is up?
You just got a family affair tonight.
Hell yeah.
The truth for me, more than anything else, other than Alloy from Horizon Zero Dawn made hunting non-robot dinosaurs, he's got to live. You know what? Agree to disagree, but you do bring up a strong point.
Sean
talking about magic comics. I got fucking magic out the ass for you with Valiant Comics. The thing about this roster is it's fucking diverse. There is not going to be one character that you like. There's going to be 6. If you like fucking Batman, I got 9 Batman type characters. If you like Batman and don't like Ninjak, you don't know how to read.
There's 900 Batman allegories.
That's true.
So. But if I can just kind of jump in.
Fucking please do.
I think everybody would agree that obviously you're like super hyped about it.
No, I'm indifferent.
I have 2 words that might just be like a bucket of cold water for you.
Oh, no.
Yeah. New 52.
Fuck.
New 52. This sucker had very similar
It was like five
hyped up energy, like,
short boxes
oh
full.
boy, he was so
Hey, 3 of those 52 books were great.
he was so excited. Oh, this is the new, and now this is gonna happen, and that's gonna happen. And I would just warn you, mostly for my sake, because I don't want to talk you down off of the ledge, that temper your expectations at least a little bit. Hear me out. You went on and on.
I was ready to go no.
You went on and on. Look, we have to be realistic. To me, like, if they plop it down on my desk, yeah, fine. You want to relaunch. You want to kind of gather up your forces behind the fence and then go attack. So be it. But if you are going to once again pull it back and start all over, you have to justify it within the pages.
Sure.
Like, give me some kind of an event or some kind of lead up, and especially now, because they're not just saying, oh, well, that's done. Now here comes the new shit. They're saying, oh, we're going to tie up this, that, and the other thing. What a perfect opportunity, a la the end of the standalone books going into Secret Wars the first time. They're like, okay, so that just happened, but look what just happened, and now we're going to move on to chapter next. And yeah, we can call it whatever we want to call it, as long as we don't call it Valiant's New 52, because woof, what a shit show in Diarrheaville that was.
What's nice about Valiant, though, is because they have magic, because they have time, they have like 50 different logical routes that they could use to do the soft reboot. Hey, I'm not saying DC didn't shit the bed. I'm saying the opposite. I agree with you, but I will also say
DC
this.
standing for Dookie City.
They were done with terrible, terrible. Although I do want that as a shirt. I would be remiss saying, though, what I have learned from reality is that
nothing at all.
I don't like lessons.
We'll get there.
Chances are we're fucked. Chances are this won't live up to my expectations.
Only if your expectations are not sky high.
But so if my options are to live and enjoy now for the next few months,
with a hypothetical,
correct, and then be disappointed.
Like, oh, please, Lord, let my next girlfriend have 3 titties.
Hey,
2 in the front and 1 on the back for dancing. That's just all I want. I'm not asking for too much.
I'll take the opposite. I'll take 2 in the back, 1 in the front. We'll do a uniboob situation.
It's because of the way you dance, though.
That's correct. That's correct. I really like to break it down. I think ultimately it's hard not to, as a person who doesn't even watch movie trailers, with comic books, like, I don't want to see preview art. I don't want to see shit because...
for the stuff that you know you're going to watch.
Correct. So, like, I know I'm going to read fucking Shadow Man. Sure. I know I'm going to read Exo Man of War. I know I'm going to read Bloodshot. I know I'm going to read Faith. So, again, I'm fully prepared for what may happen. But I will tell you this. If it's going to be bad, I kind of hope it's bad on Jump Street, because what happened last time was it fizzled out. And there's something really heartbreaking.
That's why we are where we are.
Yeah, there's something really bad about, like, Archer and Armstrong, the first 13 issues were gangbusters. Then issue 14 was a fart. 15 was a fart. I'm not being literal with the numbers, so I apologize. But the first creative team hit it out of the park, handed over the keys, and the person immediately crashed the car.
But that again also speaks to the importance of the specific creators that are handling the goods at the given moment.
Yeah,
like, you need to have a shared vision, so that by the time if I'm handing you the baton, and I have if
I just throw it, I'm like, we're not playing catch.
Just punch the thing across the field. It becomes really important, and whomever is overseeing the entire gig needs to be more protective of the material, instead of just fixating on exact issue sales and distribution, and this is popular here and there, and worried about, like, whatever message is coming across. Like, come on, just tell a good story. These are outstanding, beloved characters. Granted, maybe not on the level of some other publishers out there, but hell, you don't,
it's the only way to get there.
It's not going to happen overnight.
You have to go fan by fan.
You have to do
inch by inch.
Exactly.
Because it is, frankly, by all rights, there might be a day where Valiant is dead again. And
depends.
Knowing what I know, we're better off having more options. Something like Ninjak will make Batman books better.
Sure.
Because then you have that direct alternative. and again, I use Batman as an example because we all know Batman's evergreen. Batman will always have 55 books, but maybe one day he'll have 51. And those other 4 books might be good, like God forbid. My final thought, very simply, is this is a time, even if it's a small celebration, I'll take your advice. This is a time to celebrate. We have a new universe about to kick open the doors with characters we know are successful, characters that by and large have a lot of originality, even the ones that do reek of familiarity. I just kind of compared everyone to someone else. But
yeah, but that's more for like helping identification purposes.
Yeah, but also it's like, hey man, I love being there on day one. This is a brand new day one. So I think this is a time to be really, really excited. Before I get your final thought, I have one last question. If someone were to say, like, Charlie, what's the book you want to hop on? For me, I think Shadow Man is such an amazing character that, like, I didn't even know about until this second run started, and then I became so obsessed. So before you give your final thought, I want to know, if they were to hand you a character, only if you have one kind of in your head, who would you want, and then your final thought.
Yeah, well, I mean, my answer would have been Turok, but frankly, considering what we saw with the the indigenous chicken chasing the predator, like we've kind of already seen how that really is going to look good.
The indigenous chicken.
The indigenous chicken. They had chickens. It wasn't like, horses they had to bring over from Spain. But yeah, no, I would definitely put my stamp. That being the case, I would put my stamp on Bloodshot only because I can see it.
Yeah,
like I can see that movie in my head already. And look, I've never been one that was like insistent upon characters looking like their cosplay to the comic book character, but they better look recognizable, right? I don't care if
you should be able to pull them out of a lineup.
Yeah, like they don't have to have 1,000 pouch belts, but like. Their pants shouldn't be falling off either. Give them a belt, man.
Yeah.
Help a brother out.
Not Vin Diesel, Sean.
Never Vin Diesel.
What's very ironic is Sean says off of our Facebook, we are live. Thank you all for joining us on Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube. If you are live every Wednesday. Sean says, I want new characters that relate to this day and issues now. It's ironic, Sean, because you look like Armstrong in Archer and Armstrong. And that book, by and large, takes place right now.
Don't talk yourself out of pre-casting. Don't you understand what's happening right now?
And just again, to be fair, because he brings up a good point, Ellis says, WrestleMania is this weekend. I think you guys need to take a moment and acknowledge the tribal chief. And of course, I will always and forever acknowledge the Young Bucks as my dual managers, my supervisors, and my tribal chiefs. Because I'm not racist, and they can be whatever. John.
Wow.
Bottom line is this.
Wow, that just got a whole
salty. It's
bad enough that we're talking about comic books for an hour and a half. Don't go dragging wrestling into this.
Fair enough.
Come on.
The bottom line, my nerdy friends, is if you don't think another big company taking a big swing is a good thing, then you are like the chinless one himself, Toy Boy George Lucas.
This is what happens, Ellis. This is your fault.
Why, John? Because John first. I totally did deny that
guy.
Do you want to hit them with an out of order final? Because I ran right over you.
No, I got alcohol poisoning.
Yeah, that's your mother's fault.
That was straight up rubbing alcohol. Jeez.
With peppers in it. That's that Reaper pepper.
I got a fingernail in there.
Oh, my bad.
Good Lord. In any case, Charlie.
Yeah.
Valiant is not the only, and certainly the Ghostbusters did not do their work because there was one certain spectral character that slipped through the cracks.
Oh no!
If anyone is paying attention to the board, they already know Space Ghost. Space Ghost is making his vainglorious return, kids. And look, Space Ghost is one of these Hanna-Barbera creations that, again, truly, I don't know how someone could have gotten this far in life and not seen Space Ghost in one iteration or another.
Brand recognition for Space Ghost is strong.
But people are like, I know that character. I don't know why. but I know him.
Doesn't he host a night show or
At one point, so Hanna-Barbera, one of Hanna-Barbera's mid-60s entrees into the superhero animated genre. Like, they jumped into that game hard. Hanna-Barbera is just like an all-star, all-world level animation creators. They were responsible for the first. If Cousin Paul is still here, he'll tell us. The first Fantastic Four cartoon, Hanna-Barbera. Obviously, we all know Super Friends, Hanna-Barbera. Matter of fact, the reason why certain dog characters that were running around with our Super Friends looked very much like Scooby-Doo Delgado, it's for a very, very specific reason. Hanna-Barbera knew what they were doing in terms of the superhero game. So much so that, like any great creator, when they're like, nope, we're taking that away from you, they said, fuck it, we're just going to go ahead and we're going to make our own. And boy, oh boy, did they. They put out a roster of superhero and action type tales for kids to watch on the small screen like really nobody else, in particular of that time. It was unbelievable, and some of them have just continued and continued and continued on with long life well after the fact. So you made an outside reference to Space Ghost Coast to Coast. My man said, I'm getting too old for this shit. The old space cop gig was starting to wear on the old bones, and he said, no more flying around translucent in space.
The minute his knees started to crack,
he was like, oh. And then he just went on to become a late night talk show host. And you know what, though? I'm not big in for redemption arcs, but seeing Brad just take his dumb self,
God bless him,
just contribute to the.
If there's no Brack in this comic, I riot.
It was absolutely outstanding. What they were able to do, and obviously other characters, which we'll jump into shortly. But that being the case, the jokes are over. Okay?
They're not even having a little bit of fun.
When you are a shit kicker, every once in a while you need a reminder that you're born to kick some shit. So our boy Space Ghost said, no, I am out of the entertainment industry. And he pulled on the white boots and white pants and white... well, he didn't have a lot of color options out there. And pulled on the black hood that just looks like Batman with no pointy ears. And said, you know what? I'm going back to my roots, son. But here, if anyone is unaware of Space Ghost's actual origin, my man was a literal space cop. Just flying through.
Basically a Green Lantern, but like singular.
He was, until he got his young teen wards.
Well, you got to get a young teen ward.
And a monkey or two never hurt anybody if you're going to really.
Oh, is this why you're obsessed with a pet monkey?
Oh, man, I want a pet monkey so bad.
He really just wants to dress him up.
So bad.
How cute would a monkey be with your hat on and a Notre Dame?
Blue. Yeah,
riding Jameson into action.
But yeah, like again, at the end of the day,
dye him blue.
Yeah, that's right. At the end of the day, look, you're always going to revert back to your true self, and hell yeah, in comic book form, my Space Ghost and yours is back at it, but no longer will he flashing the space badge. He is now a full vigilante, just doing what he's gotta do. All kinds of ray power band, going translucent, flying through space, but I still have a ship anyway. I don't know. Just doing what he got to do. Charlie,
yeah, I
am so excited to see Space Ghost. I had these sheets on my bed growing up.
Did you really?
Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah. Oh, those Saturday mornings were unlike anything else that we got going out now in stupid Adultville. He's back and he's being taken dead serious, man. They're not joking around.
Well, that's
baby.
First of all, I can't let Ellis's comment go. Why is it that superheroes get away with hanging out with kids and monkeys, but if people do it, they're creeps? That's just a fact.
Ellis, you're speaking truth.
John, when you sent me these preview pages, the thing I couldn't get over was, for those of you watching live,
Just a reminder.
Space Ghost Coast to Coast is not, it's not 2 times more culturally relevant than regular Space Ghost at this point. I think Coast to Coast is 75% of why people know. So to take him
decades after
to take him from Hanna-Barbera to my second favorite, right behind Conan, is Space Ghost, his favorite late night host, to then revitalize him just looking at these covers.
You're not talking about Roland with Conan. You're talking about Conan O'Brien.
Roller Conan's a whole different show. That's gonna be my favorite show. Just looking at these alternative covers, yes. I cannot be any more excited for this.
Oh, they are not joking around.
And that's, I think, my big question is like, will I be able to shed that voice?
You
like
will.
When I read a Superman comic,
yeah,
Chris Reeve is the voice in my head.
Okay.
When I read a Batman comic, it's always fucking Adam West still, because I don't fucking around. I love Ben Affleck like anybody else, but you can stick to Dunkin' Donuts. The voice I fucking hear. No, of course it's fucking our boy from the animated series. I'm just being a jerk. With Space Ghost though, it would almost be that leap of Adam West stars in The Dark Knight. Like the way that these comic pages and panels look. Again, those of you joining us for the kind of visual edition.
Yeah. Congratulations.
It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable.
Today.
And my hair looks ridiculous today. I look like Doc Brown.
You look like a Puerto Rican Kramer.
That's what happened when I hit the rain.
So the way that it's being handled, well, just to backtrack a little bit, I think the reason why at least I am not looking at it through that prism is
because of how old you are.
I took it dead
You just
serious.
said you had the sheets.
Yeah,
because you're a billion.
Yeah, Charlie's a monster, so he doesn't use bed sheets.
That's right. I just raw dog my bed like a homeless.
So, you want to talk about visuals that will haunt you forever? Forget about Space Ghost. I'm being haunted by that comment.
The currently unhomed. I apologize to my currently unhomed listeners.
But you know what? Thank goodness for
there's
Wi-Fi. Just on the public library Wi-Fi, just like these guys are hilarious.
Those sons of bitches.
So what was I saying? Oh, so when I originally was introduced to the character, I took it dead serious then as a kid, to the point where when Coast to Coast rolled around and then the Brack show afterwards, things like that, I'm like, oh, that's kind of funny. You're shitting on my memories a little bit, but that's cool. No, we're cool. Yeah, you're really pretty.
I imagine it's not dissimilar than like Robot Chicken when they fucked around with Superman. Like, hey, but jokes are one thing.
It was never Superman. It was a Superman toy.
Fair enough.
Whereas this was like, no, you like Space Ghost and he's a joke. So I'm like, yeah, okay, now that's cool. We're still friends. But then the absolute Mount Rushmore of comics currently, Alex Ross went ahead and just gave the, just the absolute artist master take on Space Ghost. I'm like, if Alex Ross is taking this seriously, this deserves to be taken seriously. So Charles jumped the gun a little bit, but
is he just doing the cover or he's doing the internals too?
No, these are in the past. This is not Alex Ross stuff. But Charlie's gonna do us all a favor and show us a couple of preview interior pages from the upcoming Space Ghost.
I mean, it looks like
comic.
It looks like anything but a joke. Like, this is how you visually make it very clear that, like, no, we're not having. And don't get me wrong. There's no punchlines. There's an amazing Hanna-Barbera alternate cover,
but even that is like more like,
it still looks badass.
Yeah.
But when you look at the the inside panels, you can't help but just be in awe of these. This is like epic space opera shit.
Real. Like, this is
a real comic.
This is like Guardians of the Galaxy comic level.
That's a good point too. Were you ever into like space comics that weren't called Star Wars?
Well, I mean, Star Wars, of course, started off because Star Wars, was ever present, as I was growing up in really every format that was kid accessible. So Star Wars always started off, but like, famously when Marvel said, all right, fuck off Star Wars comics now, they had they had a roster of space drawing artists that they didn't know what to do with, and that's the reason why we have Guardians of the Galaxy now.
Because it wasn't until the Guardians of the Galaxy film that I like cared. Because
Really?
when I was growing up, there was always like, I'm problematic because like I'm one of those people that's like,
He admitted it.
fuck Hal Jordan. I'm a Kyle Rayner guy. You bring me a crab mask and a crushed girlfriend. So by the time I got into space stories were just stories to me.
Yeah.
When I was coming up, it was probably when like space was at its least. Again, when I was really growing up reading comics, it was like, you heard of fucking Spawn? Batman's a lame-o.
Like,
if you ain't got 12 pouches, you a
dark
bitch.
panels, thousands of guns. Shut up.
Yeah, the fact that Spawn was like, and also guns, because my power meter, like, motherfucker was charged like
Spawn
like
gets
Pez.
a pass.
Spawn's awesome.
Spawn gets a pass.
No, they're all awesome once you like get past the pouches. Like Cable's awesome no matter how big his pecs are. I almost said tits. And I was like, I don't know why I got afraid. I'm gonna edit out my own shit.
This got canceled by himself. Yeah, but no, like Space Comics is outstanding. Because again, you can show things that literally you have no frame of reference for, unless you're the kid of a NASA brat and you're.
But that's what I missed out on. I think that was the point I was trying to make.
Yeah.
But I'm not totally sure because I got distracted by the whole me calling a guy's pecs tits, and again why I backed off of it. These visuals and even just these preview pages are some shit I've never seen. Since the Guardians movies came out and like exploded my brain, I went back and I read a lot of Guardian stuff. But the Guardian comics back then had that very old school space look, and rightfully so.
Because again, it was all the Marvel Star Wars artists.
This,
where Darth Vader is green.
Yeah, exactly. Space Ghost to me looks like what a modern. If Guardians of the Galaxy was a movie first, this is what I imagine the art style would be for their books.
Well, that's fair, but also don't forget, because they're rolling in an element of like mysticism
of
here,
course,
which is something that's actually unique and new, which when this is what I was talking about, like you want to have high hopes as opposed to high expectations, because Space Ghost wasn't really about that prior. His technology and his the way that people like, oh, Batman is like a mystical magic. Like if he made a point. He's like, they should be afraid of me. That's kind of like a similar thing. Space Ghost he just appears and he's there. Yeah, he can go invisible. Sure, no big deal. But like the fact that he did what he did and he was out there, it's like the Lone Ranger, really. Yeah. They added a mystical element there. No, it's here now in the actual pages. And just an absolute amazing.
I just think it's cool,
fun, accessible character.
I just think it's cool whenever you recontextualize a character, even if it's recontextualizing him back.
Well, but this is how you can do it.
Yeah,
I mean, literally, he's going from a clown show back to
like
it's like a major league pitcher retires. And then like goes into the dunk tank at a carnival for years, and then gets the calling and we need you, bottom of the ninth, World Series, here we go. Like he's been literally brought back from the dead, which is super ironic because his character's name is Space Ghost.
Cousin Paul brings up a good point. Like, if this spawns a new animated series,
that'd be amazing.
How confused though? Like, we're gonna get 2 bites of the apple. We're gonna get people confused now.
You know what though, Paul? I do gotta say. Now, granted, I don't know what type of animated series that you have in mind. Obviously, I think if you show my man to be an ass kicker that loves nothing better than kicking asses, I don't think you really can slip back into like, hey, yuck, 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 yuck kind of mode. However, an animated series with Space Ghost a la
HBO
Batman,
Spawn?
the animated series. No, not HBO's.
No, we don't want to go that far.
But like something along the lines that also takes it seriously, but also, as we all know, characters work best within a family tree that you can kind of pull stories from, maybe like an anthology series with the Hanna-Barbera superheroes. So Charlie, again, I know that you don't have super deep experiences with Space Ghost, but the Hanna-Barbera roster is thick. Do you have recollection or affinity for any
I mean,
of the Hanna-Barbera. I mean, there's one more character specifically that one character specifically that also got the yuck version.
I mean,
and I'm pretty sure that's where you're gonna go.
our favorite attorney at law. When they brought him back to the comic books, I loved that book. Harvey Birdman. No, Birdman is awesome. I don't know if it's just because I've read so many comic books that like shifting into a different space has always been like part of the fun.
Mm-hmm.
So, but for me, it like Hanna-Barbera to me is always the super silly shit. I don't even think you know this, but I love Captain Caveman. Like unironically, that was when it popped up on the USA Cartoon Express or wherever it popped. That was a drop what you're doing. If I'm playing with what were those oh man, this is probably like the lamest.
Caveman.
Just amazing. But what were those? You would buy them and it would be like a piece of laminated cardboard with like the background of it would be like the Ghostbusters firehouse. Then you get like little plastic Ghostbusters that would like flap on. You know at least know what I'm talking about. I distinctly remember
like the plastic.
Yes, they were like
peel.
yeah. So you could like make your own episode.
Those are.
Someone in the chat helped me out. I remember as an adult, I saw a Captain Caveman one, and I almost pissed my pants, and I was so excited to buy it. And I bring it up, and the guy's like, "Hey, just so you know, it's no longer sticky." And for some reason, it wasn't about owning the box. Right. The box was kind of beat up. I wanted to like set up. Yeah. Like you look at the back, there's like him flying. Yeah. I want it as like, and I must be 26. Like I'm so not a young man. I literally have like a girlfriend waiting in the car. Be like, shut up, bitch.
You were like Seinfeld giving his girlfriend turkey and stuff like that, so she falls asleep.
Exactly right.
Play with the toy collection.
I remember being so disappointed.
Caveman.
Captain Caveman was a huge one.
I mean, you could have been like a Captain Caveman stunt double at one point.
I still can, I think. All the Hanna-Barbera stuff very much blurs together for me. Okay. And I remember when they did the Scoob movie.
Yeah.
And like they brought in the Avenger version of those Hanna-Barbera. What was amazing was I like couldn't pull anyone out of the lineup.
But here's the thing.
I was happy to see everybody.
So now, I mean, you brought him up. So all right, so we know Captain Caveman, but were you a fan? I'm not going to dig you out of the hole because you're like, no, 2 for 1 because I'm Charlie. Do you know the character's name? That joined Scoob and the gang.
Holy shit! The Blue Falcon.
Blue Falcon and
fucking robot dog.
Boom, 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 boom.
I was so excited that
Could you possibly have meant Dynamite?
No, I think robot dog is more on the nose.
This is why Charlie lost his job at Valiant Comics. Before it even started.
And robot dog and blue guy.
Blue Falcon and Dynamite.
Which is so annoying. That they're like, what the fuck do those two characters have to do with each other?
Dynamite made Inspector Gadget look like he wasn't shit. Inspector Gadget didn't have anything at all on Dynamite. My man knew what he was doing. A little goofy at times. But yeah, my point was like, look, if you guys are gonna go after the bigs here and have a real like,
the Justice League of Hanna-Barbera characters?
How are you gonna have 2 avian characters right off the bat? Like, what are we doing here? No, for me, and Cousin Paul mentions again because he's not just handsome, but he's very, very wise. The Herculoids, very much a seemingly prehistoric, but not really super team. Again, Paul's favorite is a Fantastic Four, so naturally he's gonna gravitate towards a family dynamic.
We got a family rock monster that I can hang out with.
And whose attack can you hear a literal block away because my man's just like hunk, 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 just like throwing rocks or energy blasts.
What time was it?
Hunk, hunk, just like popping fucking energy balls at the top
high
of it.
were these people?
However high they were, that's where I want to get. But no, for me. There is only the mighty Mitor, baby. The mighty
I don't think
Mitor.
you've even heard this name.
Go ahead and pull him up on your little...
What is a mighty Mitor?
No, I will put some respect... Put him some respect on his horny-ass name because you went with Captain Caveman and Look, when I think superhero cave people, I think of the mighty Mitor. You people know what I'm talking about. Just a loincloth and a horny ass mask and a big club. He was the original club kid. Oh yeah, kid. Just dynamite. You want to talk about Conan? Conan out there rolling?
Is there a flying whale?
Oh, Charlie.
No, the whale's supposed to be in water.
Charlie, you don't even know, bro.
Is this just Conan,
You
but
don't-
like the Hanna-Barbera mask?
Everything's kind of Conan at some point.
Moby Dick and the Mighty Mitor.
Listen, that was the hour, so just don't get crazy, all right? There was Mitor, but also as well as you want to talk about group dynamics.
No, Mitoring.
Before Guardians of the Galaxy, there was the Galaxy Trio, son. You know you are part of a clique
Fucking someone
when
had...
you've got the number on your chest. Like, oh no, it's number 2. Nah, son. Nah. That's the mist. You don't know. Literally like an inter world squad of ass kickers. Oh man, I used to love the Hanna-Barbera entries into that world. Like, and that was really the time of life where I had one foot firmly in like the silly, like the Hanna-Barbera wacky races and stuff like that. I was just a total sucker for that. But I'm like, oh, also as well as you can do some
these are
superhero
serious
shit. Like, yeah, this
wacky races is for fun.
like, no, this comic is not for you. This is for adults. Just Hanna-Barbera was just so outstanding. And my sincere hope is, so we got.
You really want this Mighty Mitor shit to get...
I want all of it, bro. I don't want just like a little tickle of the tip. I want full insertion into this world. So they recently did, well, I mean, Thundercats has always been relatively serious, and like they didn't wink at the camera.
I heard
very much.
Thundercats are loose.
There it goes to the other side. But also, you know, with enough time, Thundercats had kind of become a little bit of a throwaway, and they're like, oh, we're gonna make a kid version and like a little cutesy version like we did with the Titans and stuff like that. And now they've come around back full circle, at least in the comics, and they made a straight up banger of a comic, this same group, and they're the ones that are now handling Space Ghost. What I'm really hoping, not sure why I put the emphasis that way, Space Ghost.
Oh wow, look at those Space Ghost.
What I'm really hoping is that now they're gonna start, let's bring in some more of these Hanna-Barbera superhero characters or hero characters and incorporate them into this world. I mean, my man is literally flying around the galaxy. You could do whatever. Like, you could have a planet that's, you know, like caveman times. You could have a planet that's very futuristic. All that jazz. Like, I don't care if it's even on a cameo type basis.
What I love about
spaceship. The opportunities here are endless. I'm just hoping, as a huge fan, that they take full advantage of those opportunities.
That's the one thing, again, maybe this is being overly optimistic. It doesn't even make fucking sense to not take advantage of. Like, there is no version of like you throw that corner in that you allude to Mighty Mitor. There's gonna be people that are gonna be like, the fuck you say? I gotta check that out because that's or if you did fucking
jabronis like yourself, you're like, what the fuck is a Mighty Mitor?
Yeah.
You're
be
gonna
like,
find out.
Mitor.
You're gonna learn. You're gonna. No, that is not.
That's
that
the
is
song.
No, it's not the song. That's not
Fear the Mitor. Look at him, Mighty Mitor.
How many times do you have to get smacked in one episode?
Four.
So, final thought.
Yeah.
We're not gonna ask Charlie.
First and first, mostly, how dare you?
Final thought is, these are beloved characters that, once again, people have a familiarity with, even if they're not exactly sure why. Yeah, granted, we had the talk show spiel, like the late night Adult Swim kind of entries and stuff like that. And if all those really stood to do was give me something to watch at 2 a.m. when I should have been sleeping, and also as well as maintaining these properties, keeping them alive one way or the other with spit and polish and band-aids, they did it. And we're at this point now where, like, again, we're back in the bigs. We stepped right back up. We're back in the game. Let's take full advantage of the opportunity. And Space Ghost can just be the vanguard and really just open up the floodgates for all these other great, fun characters. And let's take full advantage, because if not, the hell else are you gonna do?
And then the bad guys win.
Watch Valiant restart again?
Wait a minute. That feels like a personal. That feels like a personal attack.
Oh, Space Ghost, I love you.
And I have a sinking suspicion that both versions love you back. Serious Space Ghost and like obviously TV. Let's
granted.
Let's go ahead and pay some bills.
Let's do it.
You know, I always talk about how much pride I have for us, that we're not total fucking shill sellouts. Once again, we are brought to you by one of our absolute favorite bands, that of course is Bad Mary. You heard them in the intro. You're going to hear them again at the end of the show. If you're wondering where else you can catch their act, you can find them on all social media at Bad Mary Band.
Our new sponsor, Barry.
That's across
no
all
company. Just a guy named Barry.
That's across all social media platforms. You can support them over on patreon.com/BadMaryBand. You can save the date at badmary.com for merch and upcoming performances. But my favorite part, John, their entire discography is available on every single music streaming service: Apple, Spotify, etc., etc., etc. And good tunes, always a good thing.
Not a bad thing.
Not a bad thing at all.
Not a bad thing at all. Where we dropping dough with Sergeant Finesse. Currently, you can catch him gaming on kick.com, also as well as TikTok. But pretend they didn't tell you that, because he really wants to drive more of that kick.com traffic his way. Outstanding video game content, as always. Supporter games, co-streams, giveaways, contests. Don't be a sucker. Check him out today. He has a new feature on Kick where you ever like following streaming, like you write something, and especially I know with me, it's hilarious. Just a dynamite drop, like definitely yucks across the board. But my man is playing a video game, so they can't always stop things to read comments. Not like us. We're like, what they say?
Yeah.
Some people can't read their chat the whole
Some people
time.
can't read.
Also true. Anyway, they have a feature where if you hit, I think, !S, the chat box will read your comment to the streamer, and Sarge really appreciates that, especially when he's in some dog fights. Check him out today. Don't be a sucker. Definitely, you will not regret it. Also, as well as there is Jokers_stream_ over on Twitch, Dynamite Facebook stream. My man is like deep into his certification process, but he will actually be joining us. I meant to mention that to you. Whoops. He'll be actually joining us relatively soon.
Sick.
Which is awesome. A great gamer, both of the boys. Check them out. If you're not watching us, watch them. Do yourself a favor.
That's true. And also, if you want to win a Proton Pack and a shit ton of accessories, go ahead and follow the Long Island Ghostbusters on all social media. It's at LI Ghostbusters. $5 donation. 100% goes to a Long Island food bank. And you could win some amazing stuff. But John,
what?
I'm going to go ahead and hit this. I was going to prevent you from having to stretch on the show, but now I feel like we have to wait for it. Let's go ahead and hit that elevator button.
Do it, boy.
Just the sound effects that people miss out on when they're not behind the scenes just breaks my little heart.
Shut up, elevator.
Are you doing
bitch.
like a three?
I'm late for work today. I got no tie on.
Well, I got news for you, Mr. Executive Sir. You are in luck, because I'm going to ride this elevator with you, and I have some money desperately waiting to be made by you.
All right.
John, Mr. Executive Sir, I apologize, Mr. Rivera, sir.
Smack yourself.
No, I know. Well, once you hire me, I'll slap myself. That's I only sell out once I'm getting a paycheck. Despite how we do that whole ad read. John, Jurassic Park, the motion picture, and Jurassic Park, the book, share something in common.
Yes.
They're fucking bangers. Jurassic Park 2,
You're right.
I think helped invent the term diminishing returns.
Yeah, but like it was also half of a movie.
Sure, Jurassic Park 3, not good. Jurassic World,
Agreed.
real dumb. Jurassic Worlder, hunting season, not fucking swell. And Jurassic World, holy fuck, we made 3 of these.
Blues Revenge.
Holy shit. did 3 movies about blue not work for me, and I know you like that money, so I want to pitch you Jurassic World War, as opposed to my normal pitches, and as opposed to the trend in Hollywood weird. We're not going to pretend that shit from those other movies didn't happen, but I am going to trust that you vaguely remember some of the beats from Jurassic World.
Of course I do. Now, I do have to stop you, young man.
Yeah, yes, absolutely, sir.
Because considering that you broke into these properties and you had the wherewithal to do so, you clearly were aware of the fact that we do currently have an ongoing Jurassic property.
That's right.
So now you're asking me, just to be clear,
Yeah.
you're asking me to discard my current Jurassic property.
You to throw that garbage out.
You want me to throw that garbage out like so much tainted, frog-infested dino DNA?
Yeah, kind of.
All right.
Well, here's the thing. You can keep that movie. Because as opposed to Jurassic Park 2 through 7, or whatever the fuck we have currently, my movie's also going to be dumb. We're going to be real aware of it. So at this point in Jurassic World, from what I've gathered, there's just dinosaurs running around. But you know how much fun we've had? Very little fun. We're doing Planet of the Apes meets World War Z meets fucking, what's that tank movie with John Barenthal?
Tankification?
Tankification 2, the KY connection. John, we're going to have some fucking fun.
What kind of tank is that?
Our announcement trailer is going to be good old Star-Lord. We're going to throw him a couple bucks. You got deep wallets.
Don't spend my money.
I'm going to spend a little bit of that money. We're going to open with him on his dumb motorcycle and that stupid fucking Blue, and we're going to have a T-Rex eat his ass in the announcement trailer.
You want to kill?
Not Blue.
Chris Pratt.
But Chris Pratt, because if we can't get Chris Pratt, I got to look like Chris Pratt, the transgender dancer I know.
What about Pat Chris? He's not doing anything out of
No,
it.
definitely. Well, he's playing Blue. We don't have a big CGI budget. In our announcement trailer,
we're using the dad from Step Brothers.
We're also doing that, even though he doesn't have a movie accurate mask. No, we're doing our announcement. Announcement trailer is going to be a little bit tongue in cheek because we're going to do like a Predator style Jurassic Park movie. This is going to be about a specific military group. They're on a mission to do some military shit. They're trying to get to this underground base that the fucking Libyans have set up. Whatever bad guy you want, we can accommodate. And what fucking happens? Oh no, this island's infested with fucking dinosaurs. Because dinosaurs just running around having fucking babies in the world we left it. So you get to have all the fun of a Predator movie. You get to have all the violence of a Predator movie. You get to have 7 amazing protagonists. We'll throw in 2 awesome chicks. We'll throw in a scientist. We got a group of 10 people that we're going to kill all but fucking one. I want a Jurassic Park movie where we got dinosaurs fucking exploding. I want there to be like a landmine field. You get stupid, Blue's cousin, Orange. He's running through. A fucking Velociraptor explodes. And it's all to get the fucking honeypot. And of course, because it's a Jurassic World movie, what's in the secret base? What's this crazy thing we want to get from the goddamn Libyans? We want to get fucking source DNA. They want to do another one of those dumb, this dinosaur doesn't exist, but uses like a light beam to be able to attack. So at the end of the movie, you get that fucking awesome moment where our last survivor is like, we did all of this for fucking more dinosaurs, and he gets to like destroy it. And then we set up a sequel where like the evil corporation that sent them is gonna try to hunt him now. Dude, there's not gonna be any fucking this making friends with dinosaur shit. There's not going to be a little clone girl.
So wait, I don't. You've lost me already. Your pure enthusiasm has lost me. So
sorry.
These movies are connected.
Dude, this is like a full-on sequel to everything that's come before it.
So, but where
I'm gonna have fun.
Where are you? That's fine. But where are you're taking it? What's the connection to the prior movie?
The way that the last movie I remember ends was that the little...
Clearly a ton of research went into this.
The little clone girl can either kill the dinosaurs that are in the lab or let them go. And she lets them go because she's also like a science abomination.
They're like me!
And you remember this scene, I vaguely remember. So when she lets those fuckers out, there's just now dinosaurs. So in the sequel to that movie, there's like protection groups that are like, well, these are endangered species.
Sure.
And the movie takes itself so serious.
I would be one of those.
And it was not fucking fun at all. I want to have fun with monster dinosaurs. I want that anxiety that you got from the original Jurassic Park when they're in the kitchen and those 3 raptors have them surrounded. Except we get
It was a laugh a minute.
we get 12 of those scenes and a high death count. I think Jurassic Park at this point has gone so beyond its core idea of like, what if they brought back a island of dinosaurs, this whole fucking planet. So we're gonna go back to an island. So we get all that science silliness because they're going into an underground lab. So you get those dark corridors of an aliens.
Okay, how do the dinosaurs get there?
Because right now in the world, there's dinosaurs all over.
Right, but how do we get our the dinosaurs we are paying attention to dismantling this people? How are they there? Like, what is that?
They just took over that island. The island is dinosaur infested.
Okay.
That's why the mission is like requires this special military group.
Okay. And what's the end?
There was
an end point of the movie to get to one survivor and then they win the contest?
No, it's not really a contest. What the fucked up thing is they think they're there for like patriotic reasons. They're military, they're soldiers. They think they're there for some important fucking mission, and it's just for more goddamn dinosaur DNA. Okay. This universe can't get away from the fact that people are trying to weaponize or make money off of dinosaurs. So they get to this super important thing. They're told it's fucking rescuing the president's daughter or some shit that has like a moral high ground. And it's bullshit. It's just to get more dino DNA, because the one problem with these dinosaurs is they're still out of control, right? The fucking mistake they constantly make is they're like, we'll be able to control them because they're part the frog. We'll be able to control them because we put radar in this one.
So your movie ends.
Yeah.
We still have a world that's infested.
Correct.
For lack of a better term, or like
my movie
peppered with dinosaurs.
My movie takes a big step back from the scale of these other movies. We're not globe-trotting. We're just the island. We're once again relegated to an island like Jurassic Park 1 and 2. It's all about getting to the lab, and the kind of twist ending is it's just fucking around with dinosaur DNA again. Okay. So it's almost like a vague commentary on like how silly that the movies keep fucking being obsessed with this concept, but in a way that we could like all agree is fucked up. That all these soldiers died. In like, I mean, we're going R. Like, we gotta go R. It has to be gory.
So your fun is coming from the kills, the dinosaur.
Yes. Yeah.
The dinosaur. Well, like
it's really
the back and forth. Like a human dies, a dinosaur dies.
Correct. Yeah. The spectacle is fun, and this group of 10. I want you to really think of like that first Predator film where they were like macho for the fucking fuck of it.
If I may,
Please do.
We've had a couple of bombs on our books.
I mean, they all made money, luckily.
They're getting very tight with the purse strings nowadays. So, can you give me a flick with your type of payoffs, like your kills?
Yeah.
Right? Like maybe you can have one of the team, right? Because this is going to be centered on the team.
Correct.
Right? The group. Be like either an aspiring filmmaker or like a streaming star type of thing, and be like, oh, Dino Kill of the Day, and he's like wearing a police type camera setup on his harness, and like I want to open the movie with our team. They're in San Francisco, like some kind of coastal.
I think
city,
I got it.
And like basically the dinosaurs that made it to mainlands, wherever it might be. They're like almost on the most wanted list.
I got it.
Like there's this dinosaur, that dinosaur. So let me finish.
Yes, please.
So our team, as we know it, they do hop around, but we don't need to see like all of this fucking island hopping stuff like that. You can have one of your Charlie famous montages of them like getting this dinosaur, getting a Stegosaurus. Maybe they have to take down a T-Rex, whatever the fucking case might be. And they're just whoop, 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 right? And then when they're en route to their next dino mission, they get like, look, we've got a mother load, we've got an infestation, we have about at least, pick your number, 24 dinosaurs in one location. I want you guys to prep, get yourself ready, have a big night out on the company, get to this island and wipe them all out. And that's when you figure out that these characters who have become like likable throughout the process and like you're rooting for them, now all of a sudden you're seeing one drop and yeah, they get this dinosaur here, but then another one drops and Allosaurus has one for lunch. And then ultimately when you get that final payoff, we're like, oh, okay, we're here at the whatever, what do we need? And like, oh, it's the shaving can. Maybe it's Nedry's original shaving can. That's like the big whatchamacallit, the
MacGuffin.
The MacGuffin. You're like, oh my god! And then now there's your connection to the original Jurassic Park. And they're like, oh, thanks. Whoop! A drone picks it up and takes away, and now you've left your three. Matter of fact, maybe you can leave it off for a mini franchise, and the flick ends with you saying the company fucked over these characters that we care about now. They just did their job.
All right, I got it.
There's 3 left, but then credits roll.
I got it. Let's rewind all the way to the beginning. The same initial premise, but we take away the military aspect because that's superfluous at best.
Well,
what there are,
the U.S. government is the U.S. government.
There are now companies in this world that has fucking dinosaurs running around. They're dinosaur exterminators. They're one of multiple companies. This ragtag group has a big social media presence. They all wear fucking heads up displays when they go, and the exact same things happen. It's a big fucking job. They put in a bid, they get the lowest bid in, the government hires them, and it's for Nedry's fucking can. So we still get all that, except our ending leaves those 3, they're abandoned on the island by the government. So that next film, still dinosaurs.
Not the government though.
But yeah, it's like whatever. It says it's the government, but it winds up being an evil fucking, douchebag. Some rich jerk off who just wants it for whatever reason.
We should have known when it was called I Heart Dino Inc.
Yeah, exactly.
Why would I think that these were our people?
But then the next film gets dinosaurs, and it's a revenge picture.
Listen,
if we get a sequel.
Slow your roll, elevator boy, okay? What actually I do want, if there's now multiple companies, then I want a company and their nearest competitor, but the 2 companies handle things completely differently. And then what ends up happening
sciencey, one's ex-military style.
There's so many. I'm thinking more like Rocky and Drago approaches, right? Like the same but different. To the point where like you're losing one from one team, one from another team, or what have you, and they gotta work together ultimately to fucking supposedly win the
what happened is they're the second team to go to that island, and the whole first team was allegedly wiped out except there was one survivor. So the last 3 are 2 from our group, 1 of theirs.
Then I think you have then you're gonna have a delineation like, well, this is better as opposed to that, and I don't
gotcha.
There's no point. What I think I want to see is both teams go to the island together. And again, it's a fucking island.
Yeah.
And there's multiple targets potentially. So you can see them, they're gonna pair it off, and then there's only a handful left and a handful left.
Our famous cameo, the one who winds up like talking them about like the island and what they're gonna grab, and it's not gonna be that bad. Jeff Goldblum.
Well, it's always
Jeff. Jeff's a problem.
Always Jeff.
Jeff's a problem. And you know what? Pop that top off, Jeff. We're gonna give you a mill. Let's see them nips.
He's just laying there on the beach.
Let's see some nips.
All right, if we're getting some Jeff Goldblum nips guaranteed.
My man.
You got the money. You got the money.
I'm happy to take the money.
I'm definitely
How fun
taking
is that?
Co-writer credit.
Well, I think the based on some feedback, they wanted a little bit less essaying from me and a little bit more collabing. So I think moving forward, I think my pitches are always coming with broad strokes. We'll fine tune it together. We still haven't reached the top.
It's called Ladies on Broads, all right?
Nice. You cannot tell me that teaser trailer leading to the reveal trailer wouldn't explode brains. You get a Jurassic World movie that's presented like a Predator flick. It would be the best Predator flick in years.
This kid came into the elevator with the pre-credits scene in his back pocket and everything. Was like, let's see what happens.
I gotta be honest.
Let's take this a go.
My specialty is like real broad strokes.
What's this commercial gonna look like? Got it. Let's
also,
go.
I always have like in my head, I have the like budgeted cast of like how much money can I have? Because if it's all the money, it's like Anya Taylor-Joy stars. If I get a little bit of money, I'm like Susan Sarandon stars. No disrespect, Susan Sarandon.
Yeah, we'll take you for the USComics movie.
John, the most beautiful bit of truth is we sold a flick. and it's called Jurassic World War. Come on, we can do 2 sequels easy. World
Yeah,
World
for
War
sure.
2. That's just begging to happen. Do little scratch marks like everyone always hates. Space Ghost is coming back, and now he's a fucking badass.
He's a pimp.
And I would argue that there's almost nothing more exciting than all of these fucking options with Valiant, Space Ghost. Hopefully we get, I mean, how great would it be if Harvey Birdman came back and was like a lawyer by day?
Yeah, as long as he was more like whatchamacallit, Saul Goodman.
Oh my God.
Oh, imagine Harvey Birdman.
I can only
Breaking
imagine
Bad.
that now.
Woo, baby.
John, there's only one way that we end each and every episode of US Comics Cast. We end it with a smile on our face. We end it with a reminder to follow us at US Comics HQ. But John, I'm going to tell the lovely people, if you could show the lovely people the steps we take. Because first, you got to turn the power on. Then you got to turn the volume up. Then you got to tune Bad Mary and open up the window wide and scream out into the night sky, save me, Space Girl. We out.